Well, when I'm getting around town, I usually try to ride my bike or walk. The benefits, of course, are exercise and less wear and tear on my vehicle and the environment. But also, I find things. Usually bungee cords, sometimes money, and tools. And recently I found this Craftsman 3/8 drive ratchet. It was dark, it was at night. This was lying on a sidewalk right next to a road near the bridge. The city plows that sidewalk, so it was heavily salted, and this was lying in the slush and the salt. From about here to here, the handle was very rusted. The square head that the socket fits on, that was rusted. But I picked it up and it worked. I couldn't see what it was because it was dark, and I figured, well, it's probably some Chinese ratchet. But I took it home and saw that it was a Craftsman. So I went on YouTube and found out, okay, how do you remove rust? And most of the videos showed put your rusted part in vinegar or electrolysis. So I tried the vinegar part. I dunked the whole wrench in a bucket of vinegar for a couple of days, and about every 24 hours or so I took a brush to it, and that took some of the rust off. And finally, after about 2 or 3 days, a lot of the rust was off, but it was still rusty. So I finally took this wire wheel and a drill, and within minutes I had it rust free of the body of the ratchet. Strangely enough, it wasn't really rusted here or here. Like I said earlier, it was rusted on the head. So with all the rust removed, I decided to get inside. So I took a snap ring, pliers, and removed the snap ring, and was able to pop the gear with the square head off. That was in pretty good shape, and it was really relatively clean inside here, surprisingly. I never did remove the this is called the pawl and the switch. I thought, well, I don't really want to mess with that because it was clean. And you can see right here there's a little spring-loaded ball bearing. The spring is inside the handle. I left all that be. I just washed this out with WD-40. There was no corrosion in there. The big problem was this guy. That spring-loaded ball was stuck. Even pushing in the button here. A socket would only fit this far, even pushing the button. So what I did was I took this piece and I soaked it in penetrating oil, and after a couple of days still no change. So I finally took a vice grip. I figured, well, I've got nothing to lose. Took a vice grip, pushed in the button, and I pushed the ball down, and the little ball bearing, and it stayed down. So then the socket would just slide on, and it even and the button stayed pressed in. This the socket would just slide right off. This piece was seized. There was no way to remove anything. It's not meant to be taken apart. And after a couple of days of soaking in the penetrating oil, I finally subjected this piece to a blowtorch. And what happened is, after about half a minute or so, this piece was red hot, and the button here popped out. I thought, well, okay, I ruined it. But I'll try to fix it anyways. With the button popped out, that gave me access to inside, so I took this pick and I dug around a little bit, and I would wash it out with WD-40. A lot of rust and dirt came out, and finally the ball bearing started moving. I think the heat from the blowtorch loosened it, and I kept washing it, and finally the ball moved, and I thought, well, okay, maybe I ruined it, because the little push button was out. But I just pushed it back in, and it's stayed. So I got lucky, and now it works. So I lubricated the inside here, and also the teeth of the gear, and I put the piece back together. Put the snap ring on. Everything's back in place, and I have a ratchet. Well, when all is said and done, I have a nice American-made ratchet. I found it rather odd that the handle was rusted, but the head was relatively clean. Also, the inside was clean, but this mechanism right here was seized. I could have bought a rebuild kit for about $10. I don't know if that would have made sense for, this is maybe a $15 or $20 ratchet, but it worked out, and I'm happy, and I'll add this to my collection. I already have Craftsman ratchets, 1/2 inch drive, 3/8 and 1/4, but this handle is a little bit longer, maybe an inch or two longer than the one I have, so it may come in handy sometime. Well, that's it. Thanks for watching.